Okay, so before I begin my prepared remarks, true story, last night, I don't know, a lot of you I know are members of this community chat, where you go and find things out, and I was never a member of it. Khani accidentally logged herself out of it and put in a request to be put back, and she was put back, and somebody but added me onto it also. So all day long, my phone's been dinging, and I've gotten to see like where you can get turkeys for kosher turkeys for Thanksgiving, and everything that's trending in the Jewish community here. And I thought it'd be cool, if you don't mind, I'm going to keep my phone like next to me, and during the course of my remarks, I'm going to look down. I figured, people are going to start texting about what I say and so forth, and it'd be fun to kind of look and see kind of how this is playing in real time. So I'm just going to keep my phone here so we can check it once in a while. For the last 2 decades, I've been involved in almost every function the shul has had. It's my responsibility to make sure everything we do is successful. That means staying involved in all of the details and making sure the programs are meaningful and enjoyable. It means creating a strong program, but also being mindful of the length and doing what I can to make sure that each speaker stays within a certain time limit. Well, all that ends tonight, right here and now. So sit back and get comfortable, because I got a lot to say. Many people have suggested that I should write a tell-all book about my experiences at Baron Hirsch. My response is that there is no way I could condense all that I have to share in one book. I would have to write a multi-volume series. And in fact, as I started mapping out all of the details of the last 2 decades, I realized even more space was needed. And so I announced to you tonight that the proceeds from this dinner will be used to create the David Fleischhacker Executive Director Library at Baron Hirsch, which will eventually hold hundreds of volumes of my experiences, meetings, and conversations during my tenure. I know Irv Cherney is concerned that he won't be mentioned. Don't worry, Irv, you were the president of the congregation when I was hired. Of course you're going to be included. Oh, and then there was Ed Brucker right after Irv. Ed, I got an entire volume about you. And Pace, who gave us such a gracious introduction, don't worry, Pace, I got a whole shelf about you. And let's not forget Elliot Wender. He will be featured starting on page 660. Okay. Let me see if there's anything on the chat yet. Oh, Hillel Wiener just texted. He's just getting started and I'm already bored. How long is this going to go on for? Okay. Hillel, I'll try and pick up the speed. I would like to dedicate my words tonight in memory of my father, Alav Hashalom, Mordechai ben Menachem Alevi. He passed away just 4 months ago, but his influence I feel more and more every day. My father was passionate about shul life and the importance of the shul as the center of the community. He was a role model of how one should act in shul and how one should daven. I hope that I made him proud with my work here, and we all miss him terribly. The other passion that my father had was Israel. My parents took me on my first trip to Israel when I was 13. And they took our children on their first trip to Israel as well. I hope that our aliyah is a merit to his neshama. My parents were inseparable for 68 years, and everyone in our family has had to endure tremendous change this year. But my mother certainly has had to endure the most. And with Khani and I leaving for Israel in a couple of months, my mother has decided to move to be near my sister outside of Boston and is leaving this week for her new home. My parents joined Baron Hirsch 50 years ago, and it is hard for us to view this stage as coming to an end. We wish her all the best and hope to visit often. I had a unique opportunity to learn and work with some amazing Rabbanim at Baron Hirsch, and I learned something distinct from each one. Growing up, I was very close to Rabbi Grossman Zatzal, who was our senior rabbi emeritus. Rabbi Grossman underscored the love of Israel that I was already receiving from my parents and was instrumental in my development and Jewish growth. I learned Torah and Hashkafa from him, and he developed leadership qualities in me that led to me becoming the director of Camp Jerome when I was in college. His memory is still a great influence on me. I was honored to work with Rabbi Shai Finkelstein for 11 years and have continued to maintain a very special relationship with him. There's much Torah that I remember from Rosh Shai, but more than anything was a statement that he often made about how we are put on this earth to be active, to work, and to accomplish. We were not put on this earth to rest. After 120 years, he would say, there's plenty of time for us to rest. This always stuck with me, and it inspires me to put my full energy into my work. Rabbi Binyamin Lehrfield inspired me to take my learning more seriously, and I will always credit him with getting me started on learning Daf Yomi. I have to say that when he first told me about his Daf Dash idea, I was not that excited about it. But here I am, almost 3 years into Daf Yomi, and I know there are many others in our shul who are currently learning the Daf as well. In fact, can I ask all those who are currently learning Daf Yomi, especially those who started with us 3 years ago, please just stand up for a second and be recognized for your commitment to regular Torah study. At first, I thought that I've not known Rabbi Ian Lichter long enough to recognize a key teaching of his. But actually, there is something that I've seen trending with him, and that is the importance of raising the bar, of always trying to do better and to be better, never settling for the level one is at today. In just a few short months, I've developed an extremely close relationship with Rabbi Lichter, and I know that Baron Hirsch and the Memphis community are very fortunate to have him and Katie here. Rabbi, right after you accepted the position, and when we were speaking about my upcoming Aliyah, I made a statement that now I can go without concern that with you at the helm, this shul was going to be in great shape. And now that I've gotten to know you so much better, I'm even more convinced that you will be a wonderful leader for Baron Hirsch for many years to come. I want to talk for a few minutes about our Aliyah. Chani and I have always talked about making Aliyah, but it is mainly my own insecurity and resistance to change that has caused us to wait so long. But I have always known deep inside that Israel is where we need to be. I remember as a teenager listening to Rabbi Grossman speak about each trip he made to Israel. Despite taking a mission almost every year, he still looked forward to each visit with great emotion, and that stuck with me. As I drove each of my children to the airport for their year of learning in Israel, I told each one the same thing. We have the tendency to fly back and forth to Israel and feel like it is nothing, but that is the wrong attitude. I told them that they should never forget and lose sight of what an extraordinary merit it is to be able to go to Israel. For 2,000 years, our ancestors mostly could not visit Israel, and certainly not easily or safely. And we have to thank Hashem that our generations merited something that previous generations have not. Whether we choose to live there or simply visit, we should never take that opportunity lightly. And as much as I love Memphis and believe in this community, I am here to tell you tonight that our place is in Israel. And even if you don't feel that you can make the move, raise your children and your grandchildren to make living in Israel a goal. Hashem gave us this land in Parshas Lech Lecha, my bar mitzvah parsha. And in yesterday's parsha, Avraham actually purchased the first piece of land. How do we learn these parshiot and not even entertain a thought that creating more of a presence in Israel for each of us is something we should all be doing? I mentioned before that I had undertaken learning Daf Yomi, and just a few weeks ago, we finished learning the tractate of Ksubos, which deals with the marriage contract. Many of the last few pages seem to switch topics entirely and discuss how Chazal felt about the importance of living in Israel and their love of the land. What is the connection between our relationship with the land of Israel that it should be included in the tractate that deals with wedding contracts. One answer is that just as a man and woman are married, so too Hashem and the Jewish people are wed together. And the land of Israel represents that bond between Hashem and his people. And we should strive to live in the land just as a wedded couple seeks to build their home together. Kind of going to transition here, so it's time for another WhatsApp check. Oh, a chat from Eitan Selter. When is he going to get off his Aliyah high horse already? Okay, well, that concludes my Aliyah push. And now I would like to say a few words about our beloved Baron Hirsch. I've been around this institution for over half my life. I grew up here, had my bar mitzvah here, attended camp, and directed camp. I went to Yeshiva University, and I schlepped my friends here for Simchat Torah. I have always stayed somewhat connected, and even when we lived in Queens, I spent many chagim here. And then I moved back here in 2003, and we raised our children here. We celebrated their B'nai Mitzvah and many other occasions. I have seen Baron Hirsch inspire many people over the years, and I believe deeply in its mission. But its ability to inspire and help others is only possible when everyone gives of their resources, both time and financial, to help make everything we do here a success. And I challenge all of our members here tonight to dedicate more of your time to Baron Hirsch over the coming years, both for the benefit of yourself and your family, as well as for the community at large. This is the place where our children will form the holiday memories that they will carry with them throughout their lives, and where holiday celebrations revolve around them. This is the place where every Jew should feel welcome and comfortable, where we recognize that everyone can grow from the place they are at, and where we can help everyone take their next step. This is the place that will celebrate and support the state of Israel, and will never forget that the country we enjoy today is a miracle given to us by Hashem, and we must say thank you to him and show appreciation. This is the place where Torah study for all is a priority, both men and women, in all forms and on all levels. But most of all, Baron Hirsch is a place where members are constantly encouraged to grow and take on more, whether it be to attend an additional minyan, an additional class, or an additional project. That is why this is the time Chani and I need to leave for Aliyah, because just as we have helped others to grow, if we don't strive to grow ourselves in our own personal lives, then we are not living up to the mission of Baron Hirsch. May all of us succeed in setting goals for setting goals for growth over the coming year and years. The shul is here to help you, just as it needs your help. We'll do one final check of the chat. Oh, look, a text from our new executive director, Robert Schneider. Well, one thing they won't have to worry about me, I'll never talk so long. Well, if you'll indulge me for a few more minutes, Chani and I have so many people that we need to thank. First, to our family, we thank you for your support and patience as we dedicated ourselves to our responsibilities. My parents did so much for us over the years, from schlepping our children when they were young to volunteering in the office and at so many events. We are so happy that they got to see our children grow up and be such an integral part of their lives. To our children, Leah, Nachi, and Yehudit, thank you for putting up with our way of life and for having to take part in so many shul activities when you would rather be at home. Thank you for always helping me in the office and in running activities. And to our siblings who are here tonight, Michael, Debbie, Barry, Avi, Sruli, and Raya, thank you for being here with us on this special occasion. We know it is not an easy trip for any of you to make, and it is greatly appreciated by Chani and me. And thank you to our cousins, Doria and Menachem, who came here from California to be here and represent their family. I want to thank the 9 past presidents that I had the honor of working with: Irv Cherney, Ed Brucker, Mark Hanover, Sidney Mendelson, David Cooper, Irvin Skopp, Pace Cooper, Morris Thomas, David Mendelson, and Mary Trotz. You were all there to support me, and I learned so much from each of you. Yes, Ed, even you. And to our current president, Mark Lennon, who is doing an excellent job of steering our congregation through a period of unprecedented change, thank you for your friendship and support. And thank you to the dozens of officers, board members, and committees that I have worked with over the years. Thank you to our wonderful staff who support me every day. My right hand, Gwen Moody, who is so dependable, and always willing to do whatever is needed to be done, always without a complaint. It is no wonder why every one of our members love Gwen. To Cantor Ricky, who supports me in so many ways, who gives me a friendly ear when needed, and is such a dear friend. Thank you for all you do for me. To Dina and Eitan Selter, who have created the strongest youth department our shul has had in 20 years. I hope the rest of your shlichut continues to be successful. Far be it from me from discouraging anyone from returning to Israel, but a little bit more time here would be great. Thank you to my building staff, Nakia Shotwell, Bucky Wright, Mark Tolbert, Henry Taylor, Cordy Shotwell, and Willie Peggs. Everyone should know that we could never have the level of activity that we have here without these guys. Well, my next sign is please give them a round of applause, which I already did. Thank you to Marissa Baggett, who has helped me in the kitchen since the holidays. And welcome to the newest member of our team, Robert Schneider, who will be beginning his tenure as Executive Director next month. I look forward to spending significant time with Robert to get him to help get him acclimated and adjusted. Thank you to everyone who worked on this evening, especially Chairperson Tracy Mendelson. Thani and I appreciate greatly all of your efforts, and we appreciate everyone else who worked on the dinner. Shoshana Senker, Tova Cooper, Aileen Cooper, Ruth Greenbaum, Cantor Ricky, and Anat Camp, Rashki Kaplan, Janice Keel, Mark Lennon, Aviva Lewis, Andy Mendelson, Judy Moss, Carolyn Martin Rothschild, Stacy Sanderson, Dina and Eitan Selter, Jessica Baum-Sukodolsky, Ellen Taven, Wendy Thomas, Cindy Weinstein, and Carol Zalowitz. And thank you to all of our friends who served on the tribute committee, and to Irvin Eileen Cherney and Pacey Eileen Cooper for chairing the tribute committee. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for everyone so many people who sponsored this evening. Thank you to my dear friend Michael Francis for catering tonight. I've always enjoyed working with you. And thank you to Justin Croninger for creating that wonderful video. You have done such a wonderful job on every production that you've done for our congregation. So many volunteers helped me over the years in so many ways. The two that rise so far above the rest are Emily Steinberg and Jake Lipsy. But there are so many more, and I can't name them all without leaving someone out. As I look across the room and see so many of you and think about the great work that we have done together. A few committee chairs deserve special attention for helping make my job easier. Sydney Mendelson has been the primary person keeping an eye on the Barenhurst Cemetery on a daily basis for almost all of the 20 years that I've been here. I would never have the time to stay on top of everything out there, and his help in this area is indispensable. Zach Kaplan has backed me up on security issues, an area which grows in scope and importance each year. And Roy Graber managed all of our IT and security system needs and helped get our new security system up and running, and makes himself available daily when help is needed. Mary Trotz and Morris Thomas were so helpful in working on the Atid campaign and construction, and their daily help even continues now. We have them to thank for the beautiful new renovations that we now enjoy. And Pace Cooper is someone I can always rely on in so many different ways, whatever the project is, and thank you for your help in everything that we do. Frank Udelson is helpful in so many areas, whether it's running the Shiva committee, helping with shopping, or serving as mashgiach over Shabbat and holiday events. I will miss my Shalashudas table. Rabbi Radinsky, Cantor Ricky, Elliot, David Cooper, and yes, even David Weinstone. And many times our wives join us as well. 20 years means over 1,000 weeks of Shalashudas, and it is one of the things I will miss most. There are a few individuals who have always been a personal inspiration to Chani and me. They are people who never say no, who are always willing to help, who are full of positivity and love about the shul and for every individual. Chani and I often talk about how inspired we are by these people, and I would like to mention Jack Bells and Desi Sewell, and Sue-Ann and Bernard Lipsy. I wish that all of our newer members will have the chance to get to know you, to hear your life story and journey, and why you have dedicated your lives to Baron Hirsch. Acharona Chaviva. When Rabbi Akiva returns home after 24 years of Torah study, he tells his students that everything he has and everything they have belong to his wife Rachel. She allowed him to pursue his dream of learning and teaching Torah and received all the merit for all he accomplished. I am certainly no Rabbi Akiva, but Chani comes close as anyone could be to being a Rachel. When we were dating, Chani said specifically she did not want to date a doctor or a lawyer, as they often work such long hours and would not be home. And she ended up with an executive director who may actually be home less than all of the others. In my position, there are nights where sometimes I work through dinner, or I'm not home to eat with her. There are evenings I spend in meetings. I cannot spend time together with her. Every time we're in shul or at a social event, I may have to work or deal with a problem or get approached by a congregant with an issue or problem. No, that never happens. Simple pleasures that most people take for granted, like driving to a simcha together or leaving together, we often don't do. Chani, thank you for sticking by me all these years and for letting me pursue the work that I wanted to do. Everything that I have accomplished, every person I have helped, every experience that we created for others to be inspired, the merit is yours. I am sorry for sometimes neglecting things at home, and I love you. The Gemara, in relating the story of Rabbi Akiva and Rachel. I need a little bit of light, guys. States that Rabbi Akiva gave his wife a Jerusalem of gold, which was a special and expensive piece of jewelry, perhaps a pendant or a crown. Now, Chani, I'm not presenting you with a fancy piece of jewelry tonight. But soon we will finally have the opportunity to live in proximity to the real Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. Thank you all for your patience tonight. Thank you for this honor, and thank you for all your good wishes. May we all meet again and celebrate together in Eretz Yisrael, the Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim.